So I wanted to do something a little bit different today, and do some conjugate deadlifts. I have never done these before, and my right glute is still giving me trouble. And I wanted to see if I could force it to stretch by overloading a little bit. Just to try something. If you aren't too familiar with these, how they work is that the chains are largely on the ground at the start of the lift, so their weight is pretty negligible. So you're starting out at 220 pounds, 225, say on this rep. And by the time I get the chains off the ground, it adds another 20 pounds to the lift, and it shoots up to 245. It felt pretty good, to be honest. It's really good for working on like off the floor power, and then being able to transition into your hips, and that's what I was hoping would help kind of stretch my glute out. I tried squatting an open bar a little bit, and I really could not do it because of discomfort. So I decided I'm just gonna try these and see how that goes. And it was pretty nice. But one thing I've noticed is that I still can't fully utilize the power from my glute. And it was something that I was remarking about on Saturday when I did the trap bar deadlifts, that I felt like I couldn't fully utilize it. And I had a lot of discomfort later on Sunday night, trying to just kind of move around at the end of the night, trying to sleep, where my glute was just hurting. And it sucked. I wasn't able to really kind of use it the way I know I can. Everything just felt very restricted, and I'm having trouble kind of really getting things going with just being able to deadlift and all that. It is very frustrating because I can't do what I know that I can, and it's kind of hard to deal with that, and be able to kind of like kind of work with that, because you know what you're capable of, and it's been a week since I injured my glute, and I thought I'd be past this by now, but I'm not. And while it's not as severe as it was when I first heard it, and the couple of days afterwards, it's still lingering, and it's frustrating because I want to get back to what I was doing, but I can't. So I guess I'm just gonna have to go in the interim, kind of like a bodybuilding circuit, focusing on chest, back, shoulders, maybe some legs, doing hamstrings and quads and things like that. But just try to avoid utilizing my glute too much. It sucks. Let me tell you. It really kind of takes a little bit out of you, because I can't do the exercise I was just doing. And it seems frustratingly that whenever I get to a point to where I'm the strongest I've ever been, I've pushed past whatever limits I've had, I get injured in a way that holds me back, pretty significantly, with my lifting. So, yeah, it's just kind of it sucks to deal with. Outside of that, at least things with the chest and the arms are coming along fairly nicely. I'm not having much difficulty developing strength and kind of technique in them. It's just part of the process. Just working its way through here. I end up doing 2 sets of the dumbbell presses at 42.5, and then 2 sets at 45. Felt really good. So I think I should be fine to do all 4 at 45 pounds on Saturday. again, I really wish that I had more things available with me to do more exercises, so I could do things like dips, both for triceps and for my chest, because it's an exercise that I really enjoy doing. Um, but I got to make do with what I have, for the time being. But yeah, uh, it's just kind of takes the wind out of the sails a little bit to be kind of stuck with this injury. Because even right now, I was hoping that I would be okay after doing just, realistically 3 sets of deadlifts. That's all I was able to do. I didn't pull any 405, the bar at 405. I just set at 135, I set at 225, and I set at 315. And my right glute is throbbing right now with pain. And it feels like it's in the portion of my glute, kind of by the gluteus minimus, out up, kind of where the hamstring inserts. I don't know. Maybe I tore the muscle, and it's been slowly tearing more and more. So I think for the time being, I'm going to stop deadlifting and stop squatting for a few weeks, because I don't think I can afford to, and continue risking hurting myself with this. So I guess I'm going to be stuck doing, doing bench and doing like arm exercises and upper body for a while until my glute recovers. It sucks. I know I'm a broken record at this point, but it's really kind of the only thing that I can focus on right now is that this is really detrimental to what I was wanting to do, and I just feel stuck. I thought things were going really well with my training, and then now it's at a standstill. I know that I'm not like focusing, so to speak, on deadlifts and squatting right now, but that's still something I wanted to improve on. I'll still kind of shift my focus over to primarily doing, bench press. But even with that, there's a point to where I feel like there's only so much I can do because I'm feeling strain in my shoulder. So it's like, I just don't know what I can afford to push right now. And part of the recovery may come to sleep. I know that I feel worse in the morning when I get up just because there's stiffness in the muscle and everything. And it gets more and more loose over the course of the day as I'm moving around. But man, does it make getting up in the morning hard when it's as stiff as it is. It's not as bad as it was last week when all this first happened, but it's still very stiff, and and even then it's not necessarily like stiff. I still have the full range of motion. I can still move around just fine and walk just fine. I can bear weight and everything, but it just seems like sustained work and repetitive stress on it with like heavier weights really kind of does a number at times. So I don't know. I really hope I'm not having to take off squatting and deadlifting for too long, just because that has been that's my primary joy with doing this. I really enjoy squatting. It's very relaxing for me, and I really enjoy deadlifting because it is like the purest expression of my strength that I developed, and not being able to fully utilize that is it's a little disheartening. And I sound like a broken record over and over again with this, but I just got to work around it for the time being, and you know, find the right way to focus on the parts of myself that I can improve. So, be it on my chest and my arms, my shoulders, my upper and lower back. But I just need to try to avoid agitating that right glute. So I got to do some thinking. I know I say that a lot too, where I really got to think over what this is, but I really got to think this over and figure out how I'm going to approach this.